Welcome back.
Good to see you all.
And of course, nice to be seen.
Isn't it just? And a whole year has gone by since we last saw you. You all got a year older, but you're looking great, everyone.
Thank you. Yeah.
So for those go on.
Some things don't change. Here we are on Zoom. So doesn't it?
I know. So for everyone who has come back, who know us, welcome back. For everyone out there who's new to the show, welcome. This is Unpicked. My name is Stuart Race, and I'm from the Woolpatch, and I have fellow friends here, Ting and Anya, who join us for a weekly review chat about the Great British Sewing Bee, because we love it. And what we do is we just talk about each episode, and we have great admiration for all the sewers, don't we, you two?
Yes. Absolutely.
And everything that they create. And I'll put our hands up. First of all, we're not experts, are we? We're not professionals.
Not by a long mile.
I'm a professional criticizer. That's about as good as it gets.
But we love talking about the show and basically expressing our views and opinions. And it's kind of like what would you say, like a free-flowing amateur analysis. It's a bit like the debrief after Match of the Day when they get the pundits talking about it.
Never have I ever wanted to be doing anything less than Match of the Day.
And we talk about the show. We talk about the three parts of it, each different round, and perhaps what worked, and the sewers that we're getting attached to, and who we want to see. And it's all sorts of things like that. And sometimes it gets a bit heated as the judges make their decisions. And as the patterns get announced, or as the challenges, like the transformation challenge. But we're there each week, and I hope you can join us for the next 10 weeks as Series 8 starts up again.
10? I didn't sign up for 10.
Before we start, just a brief, tiny little intro about the two of you. Ting, if you start first.
Well, I'm connected to you because we used to work together before you left me teaching, and you ran off to open up your craft shop. And I feel that I help keep the craft shop afloat by buying things from you every now and again when things get a bit too tight.
And what do you craft-wise? What do you make?
Well, I can crochet and I can sew, so I have a few skills there that help when it comes to criticising what's going on here, especially the judges.
Yes. And we've got Anya too. Hey, Anya.
So I met Stuart at the Woolpatch when I moved to the village a few years ago. And through Stuart, I met a lovely little network of people, Ting being one of them. And I sew a bit. I'm currently working on some clothes. I knit and I crochet.
Wonderfully crafty, everyone. So let's talk about Series 8 and basically what we're excited to see. What are you looking forward to? Ting?
Well, I mean, I know we don't tend to use the journey word, but, you know, I do like someone who goes on a bit of a journey, who starts off maybe not so good in these first couple of episodes, and then we see them get better, and hopefully, fingers crossed, make it to the final.
Yeah. Anya?
I'm excited for the patterns. I love to see the new techniques that they learn. So I know, like, every time you see a journey, I'm like, don't stop believing. You know, that comes into my head. But I'm really excited for the various patterns. I love a weird transformation. I know the pair of you are a bit not the biggest fans, shall we say? But I'm always fascinated to see what's produced. And to be fair, I also quite like the big statement pieces they do as well. Like, so basically all of it. I'm excited for all of it.
I think, you know, we've been lucky in the last couple of series where we've had a couple of people I can't remember his name now, but there was a couple of them where they actually designed their own when it came to that final challenge. And when you get a designer who cuts their own pattern and works with her, sometimes that they've created these spectacular things. And why it's really hard to obviously just buy a pattern and use that and do it, but to actually draft your own pattern, you know, if we can get one or two of those, that really adds a bit more to the program as well.
Yeah.
I think it was the first or the second series, and I can't remember the lady's name, but she went on to win it, and she would literally throw the fabric down on the floor and get down with the tailor's chalk and draw it. She didn't even have a paper pad. She would draw it on, and she did it all from herself, and she went on to win. And I think, if I remember vaguely, she's vaguely local to us. She was down just over the border in Essex, I think it was, or Dedham, somewhere around there. But she was brilliant to watch. You know, that you know, it is a skill to use a pattern, but to watch someone just draw it onto the fabric with chalk and then make it, it was phenomenal.
Yeah, the skill to be able to transfer that from your brain to yeah.
I haven't seen any releases of photos.
They haven't. I mean, they've only just released the date, but I imagine the week before it normally goes onto Facebook and stuff like that with all the sewers. But so I imagine keep our eyes peeled next week and hopefully they'll
It's going to be interesting to see the mix, whether the male to female ratio as well, because that's always interesting. It'd be nice to see more and more men getting involved, which is
and the age as well, because you know they try to keep that age range wide, but I remember was it last year or the year before, there wasn't really much older sewers, whereas there was another year where we had 3 or 4 people who had been sewing, you know, 30 or 40 years.
Yeah, but we thought maybe that was down to COVID and people staying safe and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it'll be interesting.
And what are we perhaps excited about seeing from the judges in this series?
Well, you know, my relationship with the judges is not good. I mean, I don't like to attack the sewers because they're just people like you and me, but the judges, that's who I try to go after when I don't agree with what they're saying.
One day you're going to meet.
I don't care if they're professionals.
Well, I'm guessing Esme will be excited about bows, possibly some edgy zip stuff. I don't know. It'll be interesting if they've changed opinions on anything. I don't know. I think
that's the issue, though, isn't it? We felt, and again, I don't know if it was the COVID thing or whether it was a change in direction, but it seemed to become a lot more personal than objective. And, you know, it was a case of, if you stuck a big bow on it, Esme was going to like it. It didn't matter that nothing else mattered. And that's where I got a bit annoyed. And, you know, people need to be rewarded for doing a good job, not just because they put a big bow on it and distracted Esme with something silver. And I felt we were drifting towards that. So it will be interesting to see how much their own personal taste, as opposed to objective skills, they judge by.
Yeah.
It's that feedback. I think that's what I would be excited to see, if there was more of that critical feedback about the technique itself. Like, oh, you missed that off, or this was quite short or not as long, or that's what we want to see more of with the judging, because ultimately it comes down to a criteria that they should be being judged against, not maybe, as you say, sometimes it felt a bit personal, or who liked, or the colour.
It would be useful for when they spot mistakes to sort of help people understand, oh, you did this because of this, or this probably happened because of this, so that when you're watching at home, that's something you can learn from and go, well, you know, you can avoid that by doing this thing. That would be useful.
We've had that discussion many times as well, haven't we? I understand that it's an entertainment program, but when the first series came out, it was a good educational program, and it's getting that balance, and we don't want it to lose that balance and go too entertainment based, because we like seeing the cutaways of the machines and the techniques. Maybe I'd like, hopefully, to see more of that. But with 12 sewers, there's less time.
Well, it's the same way Gardener's World is entertaining in a sense, but you still actually learn a lot of stuff from it. You know, if you think of I'm trying to think similar sort of ilk. You know, it's like.
I mean, the thing is, you know, we've taken umbrage with Love Productions as well. It's a Love Productions thing, and you know, when the Great British Bake Off started, you know, they went and told you where Bakewell tarts came from, and you know how you should have your Devon or Cornish scones, and spoke about it, and that's drifted away, and that is the danger. It became. and the Sewing Bee is the same, I think. It's becoming more of an entertainment program. And ultimately, it was very good as an educational competition. And now, yeah, it's a competition, but it is more entertainment based. And while I loved Joe's little comedy bits in between, that could have been replaced with, you know, how you put in a zip properly and where this fabric comes from and the history of the 1920s patterns or whatever they were doing.
Absolutely.
Because actually, that as a crafter, I find that really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, because that's especially if they're like, right, this skill this week we're focusing on this skill, and then they do the whole, this is why it could be difficult, and this is how you can do it, and this how how you make it look good. That would be much more for me fascinating.
And the history stuff, having the Coco Chanel stuff and the new look and everything like that. That people need to understand that, because they're then basing a task around it, and people didn't understand the history.
Yeah.
Yep. Pattern-wise, have we got anything before we finish that you perhaps would like to see? We don't want to see waistcoats again, do we?
Well, my annoyance with the waistcoat is, if you remember, it was in the final 2 or 3 years back, where it was supposed to be a really complicated thing to do, and then was it last year or the year before, where they turned around and it's like, oh, it's week 3, we're getting them to make a waistcoat. It's like, hang on a minute, the whole final hung on a waistcoat last time. So is it hard or is it not hard? It's I just I mean, I know there's only so many things you can sew, and certainly from a man's point of view, by the time you've done a shirt, trousers / shorts, a waistcoat, what is there left to do? But I still would like a bit more of a balance with the male female stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. It'd be nice to see some of the more modern patterns as well, I think, rather than your classic sort of stuff. It would also be nice to see, because there's some fab patterns about that would, for me, I would be interested in seeing more sort of utilitarian styles that are really, really nice and that kind of stuff. But yeah, it'd be nice to see some more modern styling going on.
That actually links into episode 1, because isn't episode 1, they said it's all about a capsule wardrobe. I don't understand what that is. Is it little capsule?
Yes, it fits in your pocket. You take one once a day.
It's a little number of items, yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Your capsule wardrobe. It's your
it's your tops and your trousers that you can change with each other as well. So you can get 4 or 5 looks from like 2 tops and 3 bottoms. And, it's the idea that everything can be swapped around and matches, and that you've not got lots and lots of different outfits.
Yeah, the aim is to consume less and to buy better quality and to make it, because we're all sort of gradually shifting towards more sustainable shopping habits, etc. So the aim is to develop that capsule wardrobe that you can mix and match and just add little statement pieces in on top of your capsule. So
we're going to be making a little skirt then, are we?
Yeah, I hope you are. I would like to see you model it and look fabulous.
The clothes don't have to be little. It's the number of items.
I mean, let's put him in a mini skirt for the crack anyway. Let's be real, it could be fun.
Well, a mini skirt is probably going to be easier than making the shirt. So this is what a man's shirt that I made a couple of weeks ago, but it didn't succeed very well, did it? Because my sleeve is way too short, and I put the placket on the wrong side. So I would be a perfect contender for Sewing Bee, because it took me about 30 hours.
As long-term viewers of the Unpicked channel will know, I have my slipper ready to throw, and after reading the description for the first episode, I've already started polishing my slippers up, because they said that the design challenge is a wrap dress. Now, I'm sorry, we've had wrap dresses before. I've had my rant about wrap dresses. They put the wrap dress in as a fitted final design challenge, and a wrap dress by very definition doesn't have to fit, because all you do is you just tie it a bit tighter. So I'm already
no, don't forget there is the gappy bit where the boob is. You don't want to.
Well, there is, but at the end of the day, the whole thing with the wrap dress is you can wrap it around whatever size you've got in front of you, haven't you? So my fan club, get your slippers ready. I feel that they will be projected on the very first episode.
Question we all want to know, Ting, did you get a new slipper for the new season?
I think I'm going to invest in
bits on.
some new ones. I feel I need to get some sequins and bows put on so that it becomes more of a special slipper.
I think so. I think you should and we need you to take a picture, put that on Instagram. Let's go for it.
Although the worry would be that any bells and bows would crack the telly as it throws at it.
Oh, it doesn't feel like we've been away from 12 months. That's just all come straight back.
To be fair, I saw you lot last week. It's only our fans that haven't seen us for 12 months.
Indeed, Tig's army will be coming out. Oh, brilliant! So
I need to get the badges made. That's what the problem is.
Well, there we are. That's a job. And will you be doing any sewing? Are you going to get the sewing bug like we all do?
Do you know what? I would be really pleased if I managed to finish the dress that I started last year and then got distracted by life. So, I finished knitted things, a few of those and stuff, but it'd be nice to finish that dress.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens, won't we?
Well, I've got my sewing machine out. I will try and make something. For those people who are new to watching the review shows, there is another channel on YouTube called The Fold Line. I'll put the link in the description. After each episode of the Great British Sewing Bee, the lady there, I've forgotten her name, the lady there actually goes through and finds all whether it's a simplicity pattern, basically most of the patterns they use on the Sewing Bee, if they are not drafted themselves, are printed commercial patterns. And she goes through and she tries to find them as close as possible, because sometimes in the edit, it shows the pattern lying on the table and you can see which one it is, like the calls pattern or something. So that's a brilliant one. So if you do get the sewing bug and you want to make a wrapped skirt after episode 1, go to the Fold Line, because she will find all the patterns, and so it's a great learning tool, that one. Otherwise, we're here each week. We meet. So the show is aired every Wednesday, and we meet Thursday or Friday, and it will be up sometime at the weekend. And we are consistent. There are other review shows that will post 1 or 2, then they miss one, but you can rely on us to be there every weekend. And
don't we have potentially some guests joining us?
Well,
we won't do all the spoilers, but possibly guest appearances.
We do indeed. We've got one definitely in the bag who is going to join us. I don't know which episode he will be joining us with, but if you were a fan and you watched us last year, I'm sure you could probably guess, but that's all we're going to say. But we might have another one. I've been speaking,
and I'll work on you to see if we can get some more as well.
Him too.
But with that,
indeed,
we should probably leave people hanging a little bit rather than give it all away.
So we will
go off and bedazzle my slippers.
Enjoy episode 1 on April the 27th, Wednesday at 8 o'clock, and we will see you at the weekend with our opinions, and we would love you to then join in with the chat in the comments after each episode we've uploaded. It'll be great, won't it, everyone? Here's to Series 8 of the Sewing Bee, hey?
Woo-hoo. Excited.
Thanks, everyone. See you all. Bye.